Hi, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Sunday. This is Erica from In the Company of Cards. I use Lenormand, however you want to say it, to look at the issues of the day. So there are a lot of issues of the day to look at. I won't be able to get to everything, but I did want to pop on today and, um, you know, see what we get. I will have a guest next Sunday, but for today, it's just you and me. So, I should have written numbers by what I want to talk about so that I can talk about them in some kind of order that makes sense, but I didn't do that. So, let's see. Hold on. Let me just real quick order them. One, two, three, um, four, five, six. So seven, oh, eight. All right, I've got eight things. We may not get to them all, but at least I've kind of ordered them in the way I think I want to talk about them. So the first of all, yesterday was amazing, terrific. Well done to all of you that were out protesting. I was not out, as you know. But I'm delighted by the turnout, and I know that those of us who were at home have supported the cause in other ways. There are many, many ways to to express our concern about this administration, and it's up to all of us to find the ways that work best for us in our particular situations. But I'm delighted to see that millions and millions of people came out, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But before I talk about that, I just want to talk about the birthday parade. So, as I mentioned, it happened, I guess it was late in the day. I wonder if they delayed the start because of weather. But at any rate, it was hot and it was humid. There was rain from what I saw. And even though 47, the birthday boy, was protected from the rain, I have to say he looked miserable. He didn't look like it was his birthday. I saw the lack of crowd out there, the lack of cheering and applause as the tanks rolled down the street. And, much respect to the military. This was not about them, this was about him. And so I'm glad that people who had an invitation to more than one event chose the event that they chose, which is to say, not the birthday party. So I just want to look and see how how is the birthday boy feeling? A lot of us who do this work have seen his health deteriorate, but I just want to look at how he felt his celebration went yesterday. So how is he feeling about that expression of support yesterday at his birthday party, relative, of course, to the demonstrations that took place all over the country, the No Kings uh, protest. So how is he doing today? We'll use the older man because that's what he is. Now that he's 79, there's no denying. And let's see how he's feeling. I mean, I would like to tell you it's because I'm a compassionate person and I care, but really it's Schadenfreude, which is taking some satisfaction in somebody else's misery. What can I say? I'm human. All right, so we're going to look for him in the deck. Pops right up. Here he is. And I'll pull some clarifiers. He had his birthday yesterday. Today's Father's Day. He's the father of many, courtesy of several women. So I suppose he's being celebrated for Father's Day as well. Anyway, we have the heart, we have the mice, we have the birthday boy, we have the garden, and we have the bouquet. I mean, I will say he got his party, so, he was happy. He felt that I think that people in his close circle um, were there, and there were some people out in the streets watching, I guess. Here he is. These are the cards that interest me. I said that I didn't think he would feel well yesterday, and I don't think he did. He looked as though he fell asleep at one point. It was hot and humid, and so I don't think he felt at his best. This is the card for cardiac stuff, and I think that this is for anxiety, stress, worry, and of course because he's a narcissist, would have definitely felt some type of way because one celebration was bigger than the other celebration. One was for him, one was against him. And so I think he was feeling maybe some angina. Now, I drew clarifiers for everything. So for the heart, we have crossroads, we have ring, and we have cross. This definitely doesn't feel like hallmarky at all. The hallmark meaning of the heart. To me, this very much feels like an anatomical heart. Um, and this feels like arteries. And I just think that he does have heart issues and that they cause him more trouble than we've been led to believe. I think that this is you know, a situation that has been going on for a while. Uh, Here we have the one negative card here, which is this mice card. And the clarifiers are the lily, the ship, and the child. So I think people are trying to keep him because he's all worked up, calm, and you know, moving forward because now it's a new day, and you know, maybe you'll have a better party next time. Just let's turn the page on that and keep it moving. I think that he has had yesterday and today people who care about him, are close to him, family, I guess. People who want him to think that he's close to them or that they're close to him. So I think today he is having a better day than he had on his actual birthday. Um, he's being shown some love. Look, he's a human being. Everybody deserves some love, right? Uh, Fourth card is the garden. Clarifiers are the book, the rider, and the clover. I think that really, truly, he did not expect the numbers to be transposed the way that they were. I think he really doesn't understand why more people didn't come out. He doesn't get it. He just doesn't understand it. Um, so he's just decided to kind of, again, I feel like turn the page. Let's not talk about that. Let's just go on to the next thing. Now, this bouquet card, we have the birds, the whip, and the house. I do think that there were um, that people's heads didn't necessarily roll, but I think that there were people who heard about his dissatisfaction, that he thought it was going to be, a real slam dunk of a party. And I think that this is the people around him. And I think there's a lot of arguing and things going on in the White House about how this thing went so badly. And that now what we have to do is be sure and show him the love because, if he's not happy, nobody's happy. So, if you saw Marco, and Hegseth, uh, and Christy Nome, they all were there, but they all looked like they'd been forced to go to this birthday party by their moms, you know. But that like they really didn't want to be there, especially Rubio looked particularly miserable, I thought. Um, I know that the military is not happy about having had all of that heavy weaponry paraded around, uh, and have made their dissatisfaction known to him. But I just think he's like, let's turn the page on to the next thing. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, how will yesterday's No Kings demonstrations affect the political landscape moving forward? You know, you have to imagine that there are politicians on both sides of the aisle who are saying, whoa, wow, you know, um, people feel strongly. And, you know, maybe this will help some people find their courage. I don't know, and come up with a game plan. But let's look and see how yesterday's events will affect the landscape moving forward. So, yesterday's events, I'm going to use the garden because that's for an event. Um, Obviously, we're talking about events in all 50 states. Uh, how will that affect things moving forward? So remember, we're looking for the garden. Okay. So we have the scythe, we have the mice, we have the garden, we have the young woman. Finally, we have the mountain. I think that people are realizing that they're going to kind of have to come out and be more decisive in terms of which side they're on, that the Democrats cannot drag their feet, and that the Republicans are going to have to decide, are they going to fish or cut bait? Are they going to stay with this guy or are they going to cut him loose? But all these politicians are scared. What if they make the wrong move? What if they make the wrong calculation? This is the people and the events of yesterday. And I think it has sort of, I don't know, more than anything, I think it made people worried that either they're not strongly enough, coming out strongly enough against him on the side of the Democrats, or that they're backing the wrong horse and they need to change direction really quick on the side of Republicans. Um, they're feeling kind of impotent, not sure what to do. Uh, and so what's interesting is that here's this card for decision. Do you fish or cut bait? And then people really still wanting to kick things down kick the can down the road, wait to see, well, what else is going to happen? So this is not helpful. So I looked at the scythe and I pulled clarifiers for that, which are rider, dog, and ship. I think this is saying literally what I said. The politicians are going to have to make some decisions about what message they're going to send in terms of who they're loyal to moving forward. Then we have this mice card here. Clarifiers for that are the fox, the book, and the heart. This feels very much like obfuscation because people are afraid, sort of equally, of the birthday boy and the people. Uh, they will want to hedge their bets. They will continue to talk out of both sides of their mouths because they really don't know what their best course of action should be from a self-interested point of view. Okay, here we have the garden. This is the people and the people's voice that was raised loudly yesterday. We have the star card, the cross card, and the sun. What is very, very clear, what was made clear yesterday, and this is the card for the future. People are worried for the future. That's very clear. People are suffering, and that's very clear as well. So that came through. So the message was delivered, which is good. Um, we have this young woman card, and we have the clarifiers, the ship, the clouds, and the bear. Again, this feels very much like the politicians, writ large as a whole, are just feel like their hands are tied behind their back in terms of how quickly they leave him, and how vociferously and practically they oppose him. This is the card for government, and nobody, and also autonomy. Nobody wants to be the first one to step out, which is why, thank God, we have Gavin Newsom in our state. But people are afraid. Look, because they're afraid, they don't know what the narcissist in chief would do. So people are still acting out of self-interest and out of fear, which will cause, again, more delays. Clarifiers are the whip, the ring, and the scale as they argue amongst themselves in circles about what the best course of action is. Well, the best course of action is shown by the fact that I can take this last card and mirror it with the very first card. The best course of action is the course of action that will maintain our democracy and put us back onto the path in a real way of creating a more perfect union. But maybe more wake-up calls are needed. I know we've been having these demonstrations for a few months now. They need to continue. They need to continue and grow. That's the only way that people are going to either change their minds or um, grow a pair if they are Republicans who need um, some you know shoring up in the courage department. Okay, so you know what happened was great. It definitely sent a message, and I guess the point is the message has to continue to be sent in all kinds of ways. Um, you know, letters, phone calls, demonstrations, all of the above, right? Okay. The next thing, we have this assassin, Vance Bolter, Boelter. How interesting that he was sort of a private security guard for an organization called Praetorian Security. Well, Praetorian, that is a very South Afrikaner kind of a uh, word. Um, Pretoria, that's what they used to call themselves, Pretoria, the place. So, what I really want to know is whether this guy, Vance Bolter, had help. And when I say help, I'm really talking about foreign help. Did he have foreign help? Let Spirit pick all the cards. Did Vance Bolter, the assassin in Minnesota yesterday, who started things off with a bang in the worst way, uh, did he have foreign help? Hmm. Okay, hold on a sec. I just have to. Sorry. Okay. So we have the young woman again, stork, the mountain, the ring, and the book. Uh, this card makes me feel as though he was not acting alone. That there's a degree to which he's a dupe, and we're not really aware. I don't know that he necessarily knew everybody who was in the food chain um, that culminated in these assassinations. Uh, but I think he was a dupe. Second card is the stork. In the middle, we have the mountain, and then we have the ring, and then the book. So I do think with the mountain in the middle, that, we were about to start all these no king protests, right? And then this thing happened way early in the morning. And I think it was meant to sort of stop everything. Um, that's what I think. So I drew clarifiers on this mountain, and we have the tree, the dog, and the man. I think this was in the planning stages for a long time. And I think he was aided and abetted by forces, we'll say, friendly to 47. We have the ring, and then the clarifiers are the letter, the scythe, and the scales. So he was meant to kill more than the people that he killed. He ended up shooting four people, I guess. Two died, and the other two have survived. But he was meant to do more than that because of the ring there. He was meant to go various places. He had a list, a kill list. Um, people he wanted to kill, a kill list, and that this was for political reasons, which doesn't negate the idea that there were foreign actors helping him or that he was, not radicalized. Uh, we have the book, and then we have the ship, the house, and the snake. Now, again, these are people we don't know yet. I do think from overseas, uh, and I just feel like it was meant to be destabilizing all the way around because it certainly doesn't help 47 to have had this happen. And this snake is a problem. So I'm going to say yes, even if it's only insofar as um, he read stuff or had met people, but we do know he had foreign connections. And I think I'm going to say if I had to pick a country, I would say Russia. Okay. Uh, will they catch him? I mean, I don't know. I'll pull three cards to see. I mean, I suspect he may well um, do himself in, if you know what I mean. It doesn't really tell me anything. Um, I don't know. Some things are, I'm not meant to know yet. I think he'll probably kill himself. Oops. I mean, I think he'll probably help himself off the planet. Sorry, you two. Um, but, you know, there's always more where he came from. So, all right. So we know I mentioned this yesterday that 47 was, or the day before, 47 had flipped, Taco Man. Flipped on whom he plans to deport moving forward because apparently he's got an earful from his well-heeled friends in the hospitality industry, which includes restaurants and hotels and things, as well as the farm industry, that their industries have been decimated because everybody who works in those industries, a lot of people have been deported. So he gave some cockamamie line about, oh, we're going to have to look at this and we're going to have to, make some changes and, help our friends solve this problem because, yeah, they might be undocumented, but they're terrific people. Well, I mean, they were always undocumented and they were always terrific people. So what's changed? I think 47, no wonder he's got angina, is really feeling between a rock and a hard place. Because if he can't deport that population, well, what population is he going to deport? So, I don't know. What can we say about this flip-flop? I'm going to use the crossroads for the flip-flop. Uh, first he said one thing, now he's saying another thing. What's that going to do um, in terms of the deportations? Will he come out and say, okay, so that's enough? We got rid of them all. So let's pretend that everything's fine and business as usual. I mean, what's he going to do? What's he going to say? Is he going to invite them back in? I mean, come on. Okay. So this is the flip-flop, the latest flip-flop. Okay, I'm just going to say, I'm going to leave it at these five cards. We have the tree, we have the cross, this is the flip-flop, this is the flip-flopper, and the anchor. He is stuck, as they would say, between a rock and a hard place. I mean, this is really causing him even more sleepless nights than he already has. This is really painful. He thought that everybody was going to cheer him in the streets for doing this deportation stuff the way that he's done it. That's what he thought. Obviously, that's not what's happened, and it's not just from us regular hoi polloi that he's hearing. He's hearing from his well-heeled friends whose workforces have been depleted. They're not happy. So he is really suffering. This is causing him no end of angst as to what to do. Um, so he does the flip flop. Here's him, and he's stuck. I mean, he hates being called Taco. He hates it. But what's he supposed to do? I don't think he knows. But I'm going to pull. Yeah, he's stuck. Look at that. That's the mountain. So, the crossroads was the original card in the middle, and I pulled the mountain, garden, and the tower. So, he's flip-flopping again, feeling stuck. This is the people. These are also the farms. And he really feels like a man on an island. Like, oh my God, what do I do now? Um, I pulled clarifiers for the bear, the child, the scales, and the key. He wants to come up with, he wants somebody else to come up with some kind of new plan that will say, okay, we're going to be fair about this. Not really. We're going to, I don't know, he'll come up with some cockamamie formula that if you've been here X number of years and your employer says that you're a good worker, well, now you maybe won't be deported. He'll come up with something, but there's no way it's not going to look like Taco. He's really stuck. Um, Interesting, we have Clover, Fish, and Bouquet. I mean, he's stuck because he can't deliver this. He can't do anything fast that's going to alleviate the farmers' problems and the hospitality industry's problems. He can't do it. But he'll try. He'll say, we'll subsidize you. We'll give you money. You know, he's stuck. He is stuck. He's stuck. He thought people would be thrilled. People are not thrilled. And he doesn't know what to do. I wouldn't want to be him for any number of reasons, but that's one. Um, okay. Uh, so a couple more things. Let's see. So the G7 is coming up this week. It's going to be in Alberta, Canada. Alberta is a very conservative um, province, we'll call it. Uh, the premier is Danielle Smith. She is a big Trump fan and would love to. Uh, I don't know. Maybe she'd like to take Alberta and become the 51st state, just the province of Alberta. That will never happen. The indigenous population would never let that happen. But at any rate, that's not even the question. The question is, how will 47 behave at the G7? We know that he'll probably be received coldly, so that's not a question. But how will he conduct himself? How will he behave at the G7? So we're going to use the older man and just see what comes up. Okay. So, because he's a bully, when bullies are surrounded, outnumbered, they don't act the same way that they act if it's, in the quiet of an alley and they can beat some poor wino up, right? They behave differently. So we have the young man, we have Crossroads. This is 47, Dog, and Scales. I think he will not come across the way he did when he shoved the leader of Montenegro. Remember that? When he just elbowed his way to get to the front. That he won't be doing any of that. Uh, he might try to do a little bit of it, but there's nothing statesmanlike about him. He seems uh, like a bumbling neophyte who thinks that everybody should admire him and listen to him because he has the best ideas, quote unquote. But he looks, like a bull in a china shop. He will do more flip-flopping, absolutely, because he's in the middle. He'll want to see what kind of deals he can make. Can we be friends? I'll adjust the tariffs thus and so, etc. That's what he'll try to do. He'll try to come across as being fair and reasonable. I mean, nobody's going to buy it. I don't think any deals will be done with him during the G7. So I think he'll feel like a bully who is um, in sort of alien in alien territory and doesn't know how to act. Like he doesn't know who can he pick off, who can he get to help him pick somebody off. I don't think he's going to have a good time, but I think that's because he'll be cold-shouldered. That's what I think. Um, what will happen at Tuesday's hearing as to whether or not the lower court's decision will stand, which is that the lower court decided that 47 prematurely and incorrectly called in the National Guard or took ownership of, federalized the National Guard in California here. Newsom obviously objected. The lower court has said, yeah, that you shouldn't have done that, Trump, and he, of course, appealed the decision. So, which way will that decision go? I don't know if the decision will be handed down on Tuesday. I know that there will be a hearing on Tuesday. But the thing is, every day that things are delayed is another day when the National Guard are in LA for no reason. Um, so what will be the decision that is handed down after the hearing on Tuesday? What will be the decision? And I think I'll use the letter for the decision. Well, no, let's Spirit pick all the cards. What will be the result of the hearing about the National Guard in California on Tuesday? Um, so we have child, birds, dog, clouds, and this impetuous young man. Um, so I think that the decision in the end will be that this was too big a reaction for what was going on, which was really easily handled by the local authorities. It was, this is the tempest in the teapot that he just, in his attempt to bully California and Newsom, uh, he overreacted. It's like taking candy from a baby. It's so easy to do, you know. Call in the big guns when really you don't even need the big guns. So what are you doing? Um, there's been a lot of talk about this, and we have the talk mirrored by the clouds. Like, why? Yeah, why did you call the National Guard out? Because contrary to what you may have heard in your country, there is not murder and mayhem occurring in LA. Just saying. There just isn't. There's nothing that the local authorities cannot handle. So people are like, yeah, why did you call the guard out? This, by the way, is the card for the guard, the National Guard, because it's like police and all that. So let's pull a couple of clarifiers. Yeah, okay. We don't need a couple of clarifiers. I think that the guard will be sent home, the National Guard. Okay. And again, it may not happen Tuesday. Tuesday is the hearing, but hopefully it would happen Tuesday or right after Tuesday. He will have been found to have overreacted. Okay. Um, what's the vibe like between Netanyahu and Trump right now? Now, we know that um, Israel attacked Iran. There was no immediate provocation for the attack. This was Israel's response to the idea that Iran has armed itself in a nuclear way. And so it's preemptive, supposedly. Now, we also know that Netanyahu didn't issue a birthday invitation, but he did issue an invitation to Trump to participate in the unaliving of Iran's Iran's supreme leader. And we also know that 47 said, no, thank you. I mean, thank God. He said, no, thank you. Now, you have to wonder, why did he say no, thank you? Was he worried that this would um, fling us into one of those forever wars that he doesn't want to engage us in, supposedly? I think that's part of it. I think that a large part of the MAGA base um, does not want us, in entering into a war with on behalf of Israel, which is fine with me because we don't need to be entering into a war with Israel. I mean, on the side of Israel on behalf of anybody. Um, so he didn't want to anger that base. I also think he didn't want to anger his friends in the Middle East, like the Qataris, for example, the Saudis, for example. So he is, again, 47, between a rock and a hard place. How does he stay allied to Israel, which he has all kinds of reasons for wanting to do, which we don't need to go into here, and at the same time keep his Arab friends happy? Uh, Unaliving the supreme leader of Iran would not have been a smart move. Now, we also know that supposedly 47 was engaging with Iran, was supposed to engage it with Iran in peace talks. And Israel just said, we're not even going to, whatever, you do you, but we are going to attack Iran. And so they have done that. And this is a bad look for 47. The fact that he could not hold back Netanyahu. He had asked Netanyahu to hold off until after these talks. And Netanyahu didn't even bother to respond. He just attacked. So, how is the relationship between these two men right now? Both bad guys, in my opinion, entertainment purposes only. What's the relationship like between them? You know what I'll do? I'll use the dog because the dog is the card for friendship. So we'd like to know, is there a friendship? Are they still friendly? Or are they sort of more and more and more at cross purposes? Okay, so we'll look for the dog. Okay, so we've got some really terrible cards indicating that the relationship between them is quite fraught. So we have the coffin, we have the cross. This is the card for their friendship, followed by the snake. But then that's followed by the stork, which is interesting. So I think I pulled some clarifiers on the stork, but I think I'm just going to pull, okay. So, this is bad. Uh, I think 47 really feels like he's boxed in between his Arab world friends and his commitment to Israel and whatever. Uh, he wants that waterfront property was Gaza. So this is really problematic. This is really painful. Here's the friendship again, jammed in the middle because here's the snake, and the snake is a problem. Um, I pulled cards on the friendship, which is interesting. Bouquet, young woman, and key. I think that because he's a bully, when he gets bullied, he backs down. So I think Trump will try to um, sweet talk Netanyahu. Coming across at people like Putin and Netanyahu like you're angry at them doesn't it doesn't work for him. He just looks blustery and, foot stamping like a big baby. So he will try to, be the deal maker and come across as, you know, offering them a carrot as opposed to a stick. But it will make him look weak in the eyes of Netanyahu. And then we have the stork here, and the clarifiers are 47, heart, and tower. He really wants things to improve. He likes everybody to love him, right? I mean, that's what he wants. He wants everybody to love him. You can't have everybody love you all the time, but that's his sort of narcissistic dilemma. And so he feels alone. He feels between a rock and a hard place. He feels isolated and alone because I can mirror the very first card with this card. This is a card for feeling isolated and alone and trapped, really. Damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. And he is. All right. I think I'll leave that there. This was a long reading for a Father's Day. Sorry about that. Um, but I hope everybody enjoys their Father's Day here in the States. And I am proud of everybody for how things went yesterday. I send condolences to the people of Minnesota. Uh, I do think that guy, the assassin, had help and possibly foreign help, however tangential that may be, but we'll learn more about that. I think the National Guard will be leaving California this week. And I think 47 may be having a better Father's Day than he had a birthday. So there you go. All right, and I will see everybody really soon. Please do like, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for all of your comments and all of your support of my channel. I really appreciate it. Take care.